Ladies and gentlemen, this story is really tragic for a lot of different reasons, okay? First of all, we believe in a nuclear family. I don't know why people use the word nuclear, but it's nuclear, like clear, nuclear. The nuclear family, biological mother, biological father, children under the same roof, okay? That's a thing that I believe in. And this situation involves a wife, an actual married wife, and her husband who were in a domestic violence situation. They were arguing, and I want y'all to hear how crazy this story is. A Florida woman is dead, and her baby daughter is clinging to life after authorities say that the woman's husband shot them with a gun. Shot both of them. The woman's name that y'all see right there in the center of my screen, let me see if I can get a solo photo of her, as I was able to find a bunch of pictures of her. This young lady, her name was Capucine, or Capucine. I am going to screw her name up. Let me see if they wrote her name down somewhere. Let me see. Right here. Y'all tell me how y'all pronounce that, because I'm sorry, and I know that they're not going to like me not being able to pronounce her name, but I know she went by Cap, C-A-P. So Cap Carson is 37 years old, or was 37 years old, and her baby daughter, right here, beautiful little girl, Kim Bella, and both of them were shot on June the 6th, only a couple of weeks ago. So authorities say that the woman's husband, by the name of Tofara Snow, T-O-F-F-A-R-A, Snow, S-N-O-W. Let me see if I can find. His Facebook page was right there. Here's the problem with his Facebook page. He doesn't have any pictures of himself on that Facebook page. Y'all can go and look it up. There were no pictures of this man. There were no pictures put out by the family. There were no pictures in arrest reports. Like, I couldn't find his picture anywhere. But Just Jay is diligent. I don't know why they were not releasing his picture. I believe that if a person is a criminal and they are accused of doing something heinous, I don't see why it's not okay to put their picture out. We do it all the time. I don't see why we wouldn't do it here, especially when it involves children. Here is the picture that DJ Just Jay was so diligent, I was able to find this picture. Very, very hard to find. I'm not so sure that anybody else in the media actually has this picture, except for me. I could be wrong. But the individual that y'all see right there in the Orlando shirt is who I believe to be Tofara Snow, who was also 37 years old. And he later died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound because this coward shot the mom because he got mad, gunned her down and shot her, and ended up shooting his baby. And then he tried to run away, and when the police tried to get to him, he shot himself inside of a Big Lots store, department store. So if y'all have never seen his picture, that's who I believe it is. Until I'm proven wrong, that's what we're gonna go with. Now, according to a police affidavit obtained by the Orlando Sentinel, witnesses told police that they heard that Snow and Carson were arguing shortly before midnight on the night she died. Cap Carson told Tofara Snow that she would stay in a hotel rather than at the apartment that the couple shared. Let's talk about that for a moment, because I know people gonna get mad, especially the family. This woman, who the family speaks very highly of, they say she was a loving person. She would take care of anybody's kids, even including her having 5 kids herself. They said some very amazing things about her, and I have no reason to doubt that this woman probably was a very special person. So I want to say to the family, we do send our condolences, okay? But let me be real. Let me do what I do best. Analyze a situation and point out where I believe the flaws are. This is the hard part about what I do. Because it takes somebody with guts and courage to speak up, and if you see something, to say something. Because something is clearly wrong. You know how people can get claustrophobic in small places, cramped places, when you feel like everything is just on top of you or next to you and you just want some space, right? Let me point something out. You're talking about a young lady, a young woman who's like my age, that has 5 children, including herself. That would make 6 people in an apartment. Add her husband, that is 7 people. I don't know of very many apartment complexes that offer 5 to 6 bedroom apartments. Is it possible that they do? Sure. But they were living in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. No. Maybe they weren't. But it says a Florida woman. Maybe she's not in Florida. Wherever they were living. I don't know of very many places that offer 5 to 6 bedroom apartments. Most places usually offer a maximum of 3 bedrooms. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because it's already enough for both of them to try to learn to live with each other. Those 2 people, just them by themselves. Then you add 1 child, 2 child, 3 child, 4 child, 5 children. It's already hard enough to raise 1 child. I can vouch for that because me and my daughter's mom, my daughter was a handful, and shout out to my daughter. But it took me, my daughter's mom, her mom, my dad, our cousins, grandmothers, all of us to come together to raise my 1 daughter. Y'all catch what do y'all understand where I'm coming from, what I'm trying to say? When they talk about it takes a village, because each individual life takes so much that you have to put into it in order to raise that life properly. It took all of us to raise 1 kid, let alone 5. And we're talking about, let's just say on a maximum, if they had a 3-bedroom apartment, 5 kids, 3 in 1 bedroom, 2 in another. Then mom and boyfriend had their own room, because I'm assuming that they're not going to share that bedroom with any of the kids. Does that sound about right? Especially with as high as rent can be. In some places you can have rent that's almost $1,500 to $1,700, maybe even $2,000 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment, depending on where you live, depending on what area y'all live in. So I'm going to assume, and I'm painting a picture. I'm Picasso. Have a canvas. I'm painting a picture for everybody to understand, how did we get to this point? Because everybody is asking, why did it come to this? I believe overcrowding and stress and arguing, and the fact that some of those kids probably didn't belong to that man. I'm assuming that out of those 5 kids, some of those kids probably belong to other men. She probably, especially with her being 37, she probably had some of those kids in her younger 20s by some other men, and then turned around and had maybe a kid or 2 by her current husband. Dealing with other baby daddies or other baby daddies' DNA is already a trial and tribulation in itself. That's already a difficult thing in itself to deal with. Let alone going to work and getting frustrated, and then you come home, you're overcrowded. It's overwhelming. Thank you for putting that in the chat. It can be overwhelming. And all I'm saying is I believe that they both got mad at each other, and I believe that it just blew up and it was blown way out of proportion. I think that this dude acted way out of character. Okay? Let's move on. They said they were arguing the night before. So instead, Snow said that she would stay in a hotel rather than at the apartment that the couple shared. At some point, Carson jumped into her car with Kimbella and 2 other children. As Carson tried to drive away, Snow jumped into the back seat. The affidavit alleges that he began to open fire at that point. Wow. Carson, the mother was shot 10 times. That's what you call a crime of passion. That is just hateful. That is hateful. Shot this woman 10 times. That is rage in your mind and your heart and your soul and your spirit. That is nothing but Satan inside of you. That is hate. She was shot 10 times and she died of her injuries. The baby, Kimbella, right here, was struck once in the head. She was rushed to the hospital for surgery, but that baby remains in critical condition. So please make sure y'all put a prayer hands up in the chat, please. And pray for baby Kimbella that she will survive this. We pray that. Please put a prayer hands in the chat for her. So the husband then fled the scene. Now, while on the run, he called his mother. Oh my goodness. You can't get no more. This is the typical hood story. I was about to call my mama. I'm going to tell you guys something. This is how you know that Tafara Snow, let me see if I can get his picture back up here. Some of y'all didn't know what he looked like, as he was hiding himself on his Facebook page. Like Mystical. Here you go. There you go right there. Y'all was looking for the man. Here you go. You know this fool didn't have no daddy in his life. Because he shot this woman and his own kid 10 times and ran. Then he turned around and called his mama. That sounds like a little boy who didn't have his daddy in his life. He called his mother and told her he shot his wife during an argument. His mother went to the scene and handed the phone to police. According to the affidavit, Snow told the officer that he knew he was going to prison and wanted to turn in the gun he used, but also wanted to see his mother first. He wanted to see his mom. Boy. That's almost a sick type of relationship. I just want to see my mama. I don't understand. Police tracked him to a Big Lots parking lot where he shot himself. He died in the hospital on June the 11th, not that long ago. Now, Carson's family is mourning their loss. Let me go ahead and show you guys the news videos, but let me give you the fair usage, because I hate getting flagged on my channel. So let me show y'all the news videos. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, here we go.
We're told deputies tried to get their suspect to make contact with him when he ran into the Big Lots here and shot himself. It all happened a little before 8 last night. The suspected shooter, a 37-year-old man, was sent to the hospital in critical condition. The sheriff's office is not releasing his name yet. The store here is about half a mile away from Wellesley Apartments, where deputies say that man shot 2 people late Sunday night, 37-year-old Capucine Carson and a 3-year-old girl. Neighbors tell us the girl is Carson's daughter, but the sheriff's office has not confirmed their relationship, only saying the victims knew the suspect. Carson died at the scene and the girl was rushed to the hospital in critical condition. As for how she and the suspect are doing now, I'm told the sheriff's office doesn't have any updates to release at this time. Stay with us for the very latest on this developing story. Reporting in Orlando, Rebecca Turco, Spectrum News 13.
All right, Mike, thank you. We do have an update now on that breaking news we told you about at the top of this newscast. We now have live pictures coming in from the Big Lots store on Good Homes Road in Orange County. Investigators say a murder suspect shot himself inside the store tonight. Police say the man, whose name has not been released, shot a woman and a child at a home on Wellesley Lake Drive yesterday. We will have more on this breaking story overnight on clickorlando.com and on the morning news beginning at 4:30.
And developing right now, detectives investigating a shooting that injured a child and left a woman dead. This happened late last night at the Wellesley Apartments off Good Homes Road near Colonial Drive. News 6's Jerry Askin is live with more now. How is the child doing, Jerry?
Well, Bridget, that child at last check was still in critical condition. Very sad story. We're still working to get his age, too. And deputies told me in the past half hour that the victim, the 37-year-old woman who was killed, her name is Capucine Carson. Here's the scene. Well, it's all cleared now, but this was where everything happened at. And right now, sheriff's deputies say the suspect is known to the victims and has not been caught. Now, here's some video we shot on scene overnight. A pretty large crime scene. Investigators saying it happened here at the Wellesley Apartments near Ocoee around 11:40 last night. We saw deputies focusing mostly on a gray or silver SUV. We're still working to see where the shooting happened exactly here. And I'm also checking to find out more about the relationship between the victims and the connection between the victims and the suspects, and the motive remains unclear. Again, at last check, no one is in custody, but again, deputies saying that suspect is known to the victims. We're on the scene here, working to get a whole lot more about the victim and hear more from neighbors. That's coming up.
So I want y'all to remember, this is why I painted that picture earlier. When people are wondering how did it get to this point, that's exactly why I do what I do, to paint that picture and get people to understand how it got to this point. All right, let's keep going.
In Orange County this noon, deputies say a man accused of shooting and killing a woman and injuring a 3-year-old girl is in the hospital after shooting himself last night inside a Big Lots store on Good Homes Road, and customers were inside the store at the time. Channel 9's Ashley Edelin has been gathering information on this story since yesterday. Ashley, the search for that suspect ended when deputies found him at that store right behind you.
Vanessa, deputies tell us they were trying to talk to him when he ran inside the Big Lots here behind me and shot himself. Now, I want to point out this Big Lots is on Good Homes Road. Take a look. This is the same road the apartment complex 37-year-old Carson and the little girl were found at yesterday. My GPS says the Big Lots is an 8-minute walk from that apartment complex, just 0.3 miles away. Now, the victim was shot and killed at the apartment complex. The little girl badly injured. She's in critical condition at this time at the hospital, according to deputies. We know the suspect is also in critical condition. We do not have his name or know the relationship between the three people in this situation. However, deputies did tell us that these three know each other. I've been reaching out to the Orange County Sheriff's Office this morning trying to get an update, asking them what exactly was the motive here? What went wrong? How did these three know each other? Did they live together at that apartment complex? I don't have those answers yet, but when I have them, I'm going to update you. But for now, we're live in Orange County. Ashley Edlin, Channel 9, and Eyewitness News.
A story you'll only see on News 5. A vigil held for a Mobile woman killed in Orlando, Florida. Her 3-year-old daughter is recovering from the shooting. The Orange County Sheriff's Office reports 37-year-old Capucine Carson's husband, Tafari Snow, admitted to firing 10 rounds into her car, shooting her and her daughter during a fight. Family says Snow died after later shooting himself. Gabby Easterwood went to a vigil held by the woman's family in Mobile tonight. And Gabby joins us in the studio. Gabby, the family prayed together.
Yeah, Dana, of course. And those who loved Capucine Carson, or Cap, the most, gathered at the Baumhauer Park in Mobile and remembered her. And they were around others who were mourning the gravity of how tragic her death was for them. Written
Them and these balloons.
in candles on the ground, R.I.P. Cap, for Capucine Carson.
Let me pause it right here. Let me go back.
Written in candles on the ground, R.I.P. Cap.
This is where they should have left it at. Everybody had on purple shirts to honor her in her favorite color. People had like the tablecloths, all of that other stuff, and they lit candles. That's where it should have stayed. While we continue to buy balloons, release them into the air, and then let all this litter go all over our communities, all over the city, and be all up in people's power lines, people's trees, people's grass, in the lakes, and the water system, is beyond me. It's literally air litter. Air litter. Stop with the balloon releases. Please, you are not honoring your people properly. A candlelit vigil would have been perfect. Those candles were good enough. Bring some flowers, something. Stop with the balloons, please.
For Capucine.
I want y'all to remember this. This is the channel that y'all first heard people started complaining about balloons. The first channel. So you can go back and attribute that to me. All right, let's go.
Carson, the mother of 6, whose life tragically ended just a week ago.
There's so much respect for her because she'll take care of anybody, kids, even with the amount of kids that she has, she'll still do it.
I'm gonna let y'all hear this again. This is her friend's own words.
Whose life tragically ended just a week ago.
There's so much respect for her because she'll take care of anybody, kids, even with the amount of kids that she has, she'll still do it.
She said she would take care of anybody's kids, even with how many kids that she had, which was 5. That is a lot of human beings to take care of. That is a lot of stress. That is a lot going on. Now, I don't know her story as far as how those children became to be. But if I know what the statistics say that most of us, including myself, have children outside of wedlock. So I don't know how many of these children they actually had inside of their marriage, but I can tell that some were produced outside of marriage because she's 37 and probably had some of those kids in her early 20s. That is a lot of stress. That is a lot of strain on your budget financially, on your house physically, and there's just not enough room and a lot of space. It can become cramped and it can be very frustrating. It makes for a bad environment inside the home. It stresses everybody out. It stresses the kids out, it stresses mom out, and it stresses the husband out. That's all I'm saying. I mean, no disrespect to the family. I'm just saying it's a lot of people under one small roof, an apartment.
Those children left without a mother, but holding on to their love for her.
My mom was a loving person. My mom, she didn't deserve this.
She always loved us the most. I love my mom to death. She did her hardest to do everything that she could do.
Purple, the color of the night, for domestic violence, the nature of her death.
Right now, this family needs prayer. Much prayer.
According to Orange County Sheriff's Office, Cap was in an argument with her husband outside of an apartment complex in Orlando as she was trying to leave when it escalated and ended in gunfire, hitting herself and her 3-year-old daughter, ultimately taking Cap's life.
I mean, people say, get out, but sometimes you don't know how to until it's too late.
A woman who was
That's where I want to back it up, and I'm going to say some things that the family is not going to like. Let me let y'all hear this again.
But sometimes you don't know how to until it's too late.
A woman who was...
Let me back that up again. Because what they're talking about is sometimes when you're in these violent relationships and you don't know how to get out until it's too late. But what is one thing that DJ Just Jay teaches ladies all the time? One, do a background check. Find out who the person is on paper first. Know who you are dealing with. Second of all, hashtag when you date thugs, you date. You date death. Let me put the picture up. Because I believe that pictures speak 1,000 words. Now, this man could have been a model citizen. I have no idea. But it sounded like this dude was 2 tacos short of a combination plate. Sound like this boy was a little bit slow to sit there and murder somebody and then want to call his mama and see his mama for the last time. The boy probably slower than a bottle of molasses that was left out in the snow. He has on the thug outfit. Pants that are too tight so your nuts can't breathe, and tiny shirts that show your nipples. He has on the official thug outfit. That's what the thugs are now wearing. Thugs are no longer wearing tall tees with baseball caps and Dickies and Chuck Taylors no more. They wearing the most expensive $300, $400, $600 shoes, the tightest pants, these shiny belts, and t-shirts that are small enough for your baby brother to wear. That's the thug outfit. So could I be wrong about that? Maybe he's not a thug. Maybe he's not a badass. But most hood chicks love hood dick. Am I wrong about that? Most women love them a hood man. And sometimes there is a large price to pay for dealing with a dangerous thug lion. And again, thug meaning his actions, not his skin color. Okay? Now, let's keep going.
Leave when it escalated and ended in gunfire, hitting herself and her 3-year-old daughter, ultimately taking Cap's life.
I mean, people say, get out, but sometimes you don't know how to until it's too late.
You could not get involved with a thug. That's a great place to start, but I guess ain't nobody else gonna say that but me, huh? Let's keep going.
A woman who was respected and described as having a beautiful spirit.
My dog gone. And guess what? For nothing. For nothing.
With tear-filled eyes.
Oh my goodness. Did y'all hear what she just said? She said, my dog gone. Wow. So maybe some of y'all shouldn't be leaving comments in the comment section talking about, oh, you wrong for calling them hood. Well, that woman sure sounded hood saying that was my dog. Like that's my nigga right there. That's my dog right there. Did y'all hear that?
till it's too late.
A woman who was respected and described as having a beautiful spirit.
My dog gone. And guess what? For nothing.
My dog gone. That's your dog?
Dog gone.
Described as having a beautiful spirit.
My dog gone. And guess what? For nothing. For nothing.
And y'all notice, I want y'all to also notice this. Notice how there were no men speaking. You have not watched one man speak.
Described as having a beautiful spirit.
My dog gone. And guess what? For nothing. For nothing.
With tear-filled eyes and lighted candles, at the end of the vigil, it was truly not about how she died, but about how she lived.
We're gonna let her.
Look at all that air litter. Look at that. Somebody gonna have to clean all of that up. But they don't care though. They don't care.
Rest in peace, because she done did her time on this earth. And I just want her to know I'ma always love her, and I got her kids forever. I just want to say that we gonna miss you.
Now, as for her 3-year-old daughter, family says she is expected to make a full recovery. Now, there is a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses, and you can find that link on our website. Reporting live in studio, Gabby Easterwood, WKRG News.
Are y'all ready for me to stick my finger in the proverbial wound a little bit deeper? Are y'all ready to get really, really pissed off? Y'all ready for this? Y'all heard they just said they had a GoFundMe, right? Let's play a game. Like this is the Saw movie. Want to play a game? How much do y'all think that they're asking for to bury the mother in their GoFundMe? Keep in mind, the little baby that was shot is expected to make a full recovery, so prayer hands and much love to the baby, Kim Bella. So she's going to survive. That's great. So the 4 of the siblings, they're going to have their baby sister. That's a beautiful thing. How much do y'all think that they're asking for in the GoFundMe to bury the mother? Just the mother. Y'all want to take a guess? Do y'all think it's reasonable? Because I want y'all to remember that she has all of these kids. I'm going to assume that since they're asking for a GoFundMe, that they don't have life insurance. How do you have 5 kids and nobody has life insurance? Your husband didn't have life insurance. You're 37 years old. You don't have life insurance. You have 5 kids. Not a single one of them have life insurance. I think it would be much smarter if you were going to raise funds to take care of the kids. Why spend an immaculate amount of money to just put somebody in the ground when we didn't even show them that much love in real life? If I was dead, I wouldn't care. I'd say, make sure that my daughter is good. Not make sure I'm comfortable in the ground. Y'all ready to see this? I want y'all to take a look at this, and I want y'all to see how much, because this is not something I made up. I want y'all to see how much they're asking for to bury her. Let me know if y'all can see this. I've tried to make it as big as I possibly can. Can everybody see this? Let me get my whiteboard out real quick. Let me get my colors together here. Let's go boom. Let's go boom. Can y'all see this number right here? More specifically, that number. Can y'all see it? For everybody who tells me I'm wrong for being the GoFundMe police, huh? Everybody sees this. They are asking crowdfunding to bury a 37-year-old mother who did not have a dime of life insurance. Matter of fact, at 37, you're almost 40 years old. At that point, you definitely should be thinking about things like retirement and cashing in possibly on some of your payments to life insurance or something at this point. Because we're already hit our climax and we'll be going downhill at that point from 40 and 50 on down. We're like at midlife at that point. $60,000. $60,000. So let me explain this to you guys. Some of y'all might be like, well, they're going to use some of that money to take care of the children. What's the likelihood that that's going to be the case? At the top, it says for her kids. This is what life insurance would have taken care of. We could have easily, at 37 years old, had a $25,000 life insurance plan that wouldn't cost you much monthly, a $50,000, $100,000 plan that wouldn't have costed you much monthly. So the family is going to put nothing into this funeral, but yet ask the whole world and society for $60,000. Let me tell y'all why that's egregious. Because people want to make it seem like I'm wrong for saying they have too many kids. They have way more kids than they can actually provide for. So much so that once they lose their mom, they need an inordinate amount of money to be able to take care of all of the kids. Now it becomes society's problem. Why is it that we don't take care of our own families, our own lineage? Why should we ever have to look outside of our own mothers and grandparents and cousins and close, tight circle of family and friends? When this type of thing continues to happen, and matter of fact, when you date these dangerous ass thugs, then you know, and you live in these dangerous hoods and neighborhoods, you know there is a high likelihood that something is going to happen bad. Why do you not have yourself covered? Why do you not have some type of protection, some type of financial protection, something? We have nothing at all. We are making no plans for the day that we die, and everybody on earth is going to die at some point. I just think it's highly irresponsible to keep saying society should take care of my kids. The government should take care of my kids. CPS and DPS should take care of my kids.
A story you'll only see on News 5. A vigil held for a Mobile woman killed in Orlando, Florida. Her 3-year-old daughter is recovering from the shooting. The Orange County Sheriff's Office reports 37-year-old Capucine Carson's husband, Tafari Snow, admitted to firing 10 rounds into her car, shooting her and her daughter during a fight. Family says Snow died after later shooting himself. Gabby Easterwood went to a vigil held by the woman's family in Mobile tonight. And Gabby joins us in the studio. Gabby, the family prayed together.
Yeah, Dana, of course. And those who loved Capucine Carson, or Cap, the most, gathered at the Baumhauer Park in Mobile and remembered her. And they were around others who were mourning the gravity of how tragic her death was for them. Written in candles on the ground, R.I.P. Cap, for Capucine Carson, the mother of 6 whose life tragically ended just a week ago.
There's so much respect for her because she'll take care of anybody kids, even with the amount of kids that she has, she'll still do it.
Those children left without a mother, but holding on to their love for her.
My mom was a loving person. My mom, she didn't deserve this.
She always loved us the most. I love my mom to death. She did her hardest to do everything that she could do.
Purple, the color of the night, for domestic violence, the nature of her death.
Right now, this family needs prayer, much prayer.
According to Orange County Sheriff's Office, Cap was in an argument with her husband outside of an apartment complex in Orlando as she was trying to leave when it escalated and ended in gunfire, hitting herself and her 3-year-old daughter, ultimately taking Cap's life.
I mean, people say, get out, but sometimes you don't know how to until it's too late.
A woman who was respected and described as having a beautiful spirit.
My dog gone. And guess what? For nothing. For nothing.
With tear-filled eyes and lighted candles, at the end of the vigil, it was truly not about how she died, but about how she lived.
We're going to let her rest in peace because she done did her time on this earth. And I just want her to know I'm always love her and I got her kids forever. I just want to say that we're going to miss you.
Now, as for her 3-year-old daughter, family says she is expected to make a full recovery. Now, there is a GoFundMe to help with funeral expenses, and you can find that link on our website. Reporting live in studio, Gabby Easterwood, WKRG News 5.
I want everybody to remember this. We can't change their situation. We can't change their kids. We can't change their fate. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to speak to my young sisters and my young brothers before we start having children, before we start having sex recklessly and procreating and bringing children into these situations when we can't even take care of ourselves properly. Okay? So I'm using this as a cautionary tale because we can't do anything to bring this woman's life back. We can't fix her life. We can't protect her life. We can't protect her kids. But what we can do is we can speak to everybody else who is out there listening who might be in these situations, and we might be able to save a life before they put themselves in a dangerous situation by dating unstable thugs. Dating unstable thugs is not cute. If you like to date that while you're single with no kids, I get it. But when you have kids, you have more to think about than just your own personal pleasures. Okay? So that's the main message that I want to push with these stories. But again, I wish nothing bad on them. What happened to her should have never happened to her. The dude should have never have snapped. He should have never have came outside of himself and did this. He should have been man enough, which again, I want y'all to remember, he was probably raised by a single mother. Because he said, I called my mama. You didn't hear no mention of his dad. I want to call my mama. After you killed your wife and almost killed your own kid, it's just a ridiculous thing to say. So for the things that they say and for the things that they do, I have to draw an analysis and tell you guys how I perceive things and what my solutions are, okay? So these are my solutions, and I totally understand if people don't understand and don't agree. Bring your own solutions to the table, okay? But I thank you guys so much for listening with an open mind and an open heart. And again, RIP to the mother, and we'll keep a prayer hands up for those kids and hope that the family will be able to take care of those kids. Thank you guys so much.